Hey, Knut, it's you and I again, man. Hey, good luck to Norway here right now. We're going to have Norwegians and English people on here. Hopefully you guys won't fight. Hey, Javier Sisueda, how are you, buddy? Bienvenidos. My daughter's in Spain right now, by the way. Warming up the old bones. Let's get that just right. It's time to grease the nut on this guitar a little bit. Things are going sharp. Waiting on college hoop. Nothing else matters. Well, yeah, that's good stuff too. It's a bit hot lately, but we have AC. Oh, good. Yeah, she's been, she was in Barcelona and then Mallorca and then headed to Madrid today. It was pretty toasty, but she said it was fine on the water. Yeah. So I just put new strings on this guitar because I put the new Faber Bridge on here. I got the Pro set, which I'll show you guys once we kind of get a quorum here of guys. Kind of a game changer bridge, man. These are Ron Ellis pickups that are really low output. I mean, I think like 7.2, and the neck pickup I think is 6.8. But man, this guitar pushes now. It just jumps. Because the strings are vibrating so good. But anyway, I dig it, man. You can hear it. Like if I mute it, you can hear how loud it is. So let me show you this up close. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see. But see the post holding the bridge down? That's a sleeve that goes over the post, and you crank it down really tight, and the bridge is rock solid. And then on the tailpiece, if I can get it on camera there, see that big washer under the tailpiece? That has a big flange underneath the tailpiece. So when you crank the tailpiece down, it is locked on solid, not just with a little pin like some bridges. The entire thing is locked on. You can grab this guitar by the tailpiece or the bridge, and it's just rock solid. And all of a sudden, it just gets major strength. I can feel it, like the guitar vibrates my chest now, you know. So I like using low output pickups because I think they sound better. They're more balanced. So now you're driving these low output pickups a lot harder. Yes, Javier, good question. Any updates about the amp collab with Bad Cat? Yes, I had my first meeting this week with the builder that I'm going to work with. And it's based on Little Elvis, and we're going to add a few things that Bad Cat does to it. So it'll be sort of a hybrid sort of situation. We're going to add another gain stage and a master volume that's switchable. So you can run it kind of like an Elvis, or you can add gain to it and have a master volume so you can play it quietly. And then reverb. John has a digital reverb set up there that sounds killer. I was playing it for a while at his shop going, "Why, what's this reverb? It sounds so good." And he goes, "Oh, it's just a chip." And they're just getting so good now. Gelshan, how much did the setup change the brake angle? It's adjustable. So it comes with 3 different sets of washers to put under the tailpiece. You can mount it flush if you want. The smallest washer is really tiny. So like if you like to run your strings over the tailpiece, you just drop it down with that. But it comes with a selection of washers that are different height. I'm using the tallest one right now. There's pros and cons to wrapping around the... I can't get it on camera. Anyway, you get the idea. There's pros and cons to wrapping your strings over the bridge. Around the tailpiece. It makes it more open, a little more airy. It makes the strings feel slinkier for sure. But it does change the sound, not always for the better. It's more of a feel thing. Anyway, Hard Rock and Steel says, I'm leaning towards your low output ways lately. Never liked high output, but would use medium, but yeah, really digging lower output humbuckers and single coils these days. Well, there's no right or wrong. Like, whatever you like is what's good for you. I've been through all phases of that, just being an old dude. Like, I had a DiMarzio Super Distortion in 1978 that I put in to an old guitar that I had. I think that pickup was 12 or 13K. And it was a brick wall. I only did one thing, just blast the front end of the amp. And it wasn't, at the time when I was a kid, it was cool because it was really forgiving. And I'm talking when I was 13, maybe. It made your clinkers not sound as bad because it had so much output, like it kind of made up for it. Makeup gain, like a compressor. But then I started playing other guitars with lower output pickups, and I started realizing there's a lot of, I'm going to use the word everyone makes fun of me for, there's a lot of vocabulary in using lower output pickups. And also I think the distortion you get, like if I go up here to the gainy side of this amp, the distortion that you get is clearer. So when you do, my favorite chord progression. I don't think you would hear all of that, When you use really, I got a little sitar. I got to buff the saddle on this. Brand new thing too. It's got a little sitar to it, just a burr, I'm sure. But when you go up to the distorted and do those chords, right? So you get all that richness and detail out of a lower output pickup. These are really low output. Hard Rock and says super distortions are misleading. They're only slightly higher than PF these days. Yeah. 8K. Yeah, the ones that I had, I got mine in like 1978. And it was, ceramic magnet. I think it was 11 or 12K. Anyway, like my Rickenbacker and my Gretches, those Rickenbacker pickups are like 4.8K. They sound great. That's why they're so bright and chimey. The Gretsch that you hear me play here all the time, those pickups are right around 6K, 5.8 to 6, I think. These are high 6s, low 7s. I think the bridge pickup's 7.2. The neck pickup is 6.8, if I remember correctly. You can even go lower. Jason Lawler makes those ultra low wind ones. So does Ron Ellis. If you ask him, he'll wind them down for you. You can also degauss the magnets too. That helps. Rob Timmons over at Arcane also makes some low wind pickups. So they're fun stuff to try. If you're not familiar with it, I really recommend it. It does change the way you play. And it is less forgiving, which I tend to think makes you play better. Anyway, just over here on just medium crunch. Turn the echo off here. Just hear a clean sound. So get the idea. Brand new strings still stretching out on me, sorry. But I'm really in love with this bridge, so it makes these low output pickups have more range, you know. Like I said, here, let me mute my amp. Like, I mean, here. It's ringing. Like, it's crazy. It's a big jump up. I had Tone Pros on here for like 15 years. Never even thought about changing it. So I had that ES335, which I should be getting back soon from Michael DeTemple. He's doing his fret magic to it. I put the Faber Bridge on that and went, oh my God. But that was nylon saddles. You know, it's a 63 custom shop reissue, which nylon saddles were the thing in 63. So it was historically accurate. But I put the Faber on that ES, man, night and day difference. But I just put this on yesterday. Even sitting around playing it acoustically, I was like, holy doo-doo. This is really good. But you can hear like the amp is getting dirtier than it was before because the pickups are getting pushed so much harder, but it's not messier. You know what I mean? Like it's still really clean or clear, tidy, I think is the word I'm looking for. I like it a lot. I'm not getting paid. I bought it retail price. I bought the Pro kit though, so I got the whole thing, every piece you can do. And man, I think it's money really well spent. It wasn't that expensive either. It's under $200, I think, for the whole setup. And they deliver quickly. Like it showed up 3 or 4 days later. And the weird thing about both Fabers now, just I know they probably do this on purpose, but it's 13.6K. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Super distortions were woo. Javier, good question. I'm going to answer that in just a second. I don't get paid for this. I paid full price, and it's a game changer. I really think it's money well spent if you have any Gibson setup. So they make one for the ABR1 and one for the Nashville setup. This guitar had a Nashville setup on it. It does bring out the vocabulary in your pickups, right? So Javier, great question. Thank you for this. Is it a good idea to have a high-end ECC 83 12x7 for you Americans, at least in V1 when using those pickups? Yes and yes. And the reason I said yes and yes, it's a good idea to have a good ECC 83 12x7 in V1 in every amp you have. Because without that, it doesn't matter. The signal goes to that tube first. So I'm plugged into this jack. I'm plugged into the first triode of the 12x7 that's here. Directly. There's a 68K resistor, I think. And it's right in there. So if you have a shitty first tube, V1, valve 1, you know, the British nomenclature, we say tubes, Europeans say valves, right? So V1 means valve 1, tube 1. If you don't have a good tube there, it doesn't matter what's after it because the subsequent tubes just reproduce what they got fed. They're not creating anything. Everything is being created from V1. So yeah, put a good tube in V1. And honestly, old tubes don't cost that much. Like I'm getting my 50 watt Marshall back, my 1970 back from Peter. I bought a whole new set of tubes for it. I got a quad of mid-60s Mullards, the L6s, the ones you want, right? The best ones, mid-60s Mullards, for $200. You know, a good modern tube is going to cost you $25. So do that, you know, but any old tube, if it measures reasonably, is going to sound way better than any modern production tube. The problem is supply. I can't use them for production because there's not enough around and they're inconsistent. So I have a box here. I could open them up and show it to you. You want to see them? Let's do that. I've been playing guitar. You guys know what this amp sounds like. It's getting better. I don't know if you noticed, but the dirty side sounds a little better now, right? Okay. Let me, let's open the box. It's like, internet influencer nonsense. Or shit. Hold on a second. I have to go get my box cutter. But let's open up some Mullards. Hang on one second. If you guys aren't familiar with them, let's get you familiar with them. Hold on one second. Here. So I got, for my Marshall, this is not the 71 that you guys saw the video of me playing. This is a Fawn 1970, which is pretty original, except for the power transformer is Mercury. So I just went, the 71 has all those great Mullards in it that have been there for decades. So I tried to do that here. And I can show you some ways you can save money on Mullards as well. That's right, Mark, you're right. Preamp tube closest to the input jack is V1. And there are two different input locations. Both of those inputs go to V1. Like when you were talking about the low input on your marquee, that... Oh, these are the EL34s, which I'll show you. That is just a different resistor. Like a normal input has a 68K resistor on it. And I think the low input... Hey, babe.
Hi.
You all good?
I forgot my water bottle.
Oh, okay. The low input is 120K resistor. That's all it is. I'd love to tell you there's some kind of cool magic to it. It's my youngest daughter, my baby girl. So that's all it is, just knocks the signal down. And if you use a good resistor, as I try to on all my amps, everywhere in the amp, not just at the input, it doesn't make the amp sound any worse. It sounds great. Oh, packing peanuts, the scourge of the earth. I hate these things. Hold on. This is kind of a big reveal on Mullards, man. All right, a lot of you guys maybe haven't seen. I'm going to show you a trick to saving a lot of money on Mullard power tubes with the ones I bought here. So, hold on one second. This guy, I hope he marked these preamp tubes because they were the way they were in the ad. They were measured a certain way. I wanted to use them in a certain order.
Bye, Papa.
Bye, Bunny. See you soon. My baby girl. Okay, so I'll show you the preamp tubes first. Did he mark them with their measurements? Doesn't look like he did. Shit. So, this is a way to save a lot of money. So you will notice, I got to put my glasses on so I can read this. Still can't see up close, even after I got my eyes fixed. This says, if you look closely, it's a GE logo. It's not a GE tube. Because if you look on here, see where it says made in Britain, right? And then the JW1885 right there, that's military. Jan, and then it's 12X7, and then there's another. But you can tell by the construction of the plates on this, this is the L6 version, which is the most sought after preamp tube. But because it says General Electric on it, the guy advertised it as Mullards. He goes, they're Mullards, and he's right. You can prove it. So I got 4 of those that are very close. One of them's a little hotter than the other, and I want to use that as V1. And then check this out. So now if you were to go online and you want to get 4 of those tubes that say Mullard on them, screened on them, that'd be an $800 box of tubes. Channel inputs. No, it's just different resistors. Yeah, but no, the same thing. The high and low, they're the same input. 68K on the high input, 120 on the low input. Pretty standard. Most amps are that. Marshalls are all 68Ks. So check this out. Now these are XF2 Mullards. Now when you're looking at Mullard power tubes, I mean, I can tell what they are by looking at them, even though the screening's kind of off of them. But the screen on this said General Electric. It's not a General Electric tube. These are British XF2 Mullards that have double halo getters. The getter is the little things at the top. I don't know if you can see the getters in there. See, there's 2 getters, double halo. That pulls all the impurities out of the gas, right? And then I can tell by the construction, they're XF2 Mullards. These are made in the Blackburn factory in probably 65 or 66. These are the Holy Grail Mullards. Now, the thing that's funny about it is both of these tubes have the guide pin missing. No big deal, because check it out. A, you can just put it in correctly if you know what you're doing, but even if you don't know what you're doing, you get this little adapter right here. You stick it on the bottom of the tube, and boom, you have a guide pin. Let's see, where's pin 1? There's pin 1. So it should go on just like that, right? And look, now I have a guide pin. So this pair of tubes, if they were all clean and pretty, they measure perfect, and they're super tightly matched. It's not even close. I mean, not even distant. I've never seen tubes match any tighter than these, right? But it says pin 1 on the bottom. You can see where pin 1 is, right? And this one he marked. So you put the guide pin facing in between pin 1 and pin 8, right? You stick that on there. I probably got to clean it up a little bit before I get this all the way down. But anyway, you get the idea. And now you have your guide pin. You're not going to stick it in wrong. Everything's fine. So I got these tubes for $175. If you were to buy a pair of perfectly matched Mullard XF2s from the black with the double halo. Now you'll see a lot of single halo ones for sale, and they're worth a lot less money than the double halo getters. But those 2 tubes, if they were said Mullard on them with a real pretty screen and they were double halo and the guide pin wasn't broken off, they'd be $800. I got them for $175. So there you go. There's your tube lesson for the day. Yeah, that's right. Javier, good point. So those tubes have a much higher vacuum, and even the coatings are better. The cathode coating is what you're talking about, I assume, than modern tubes. So the vacuum is what they call the pump. And the pump on these tubes is way better. Modern tubes actually all have a little bit of oxygen in them and contamination because the pump is not that good. Modern equipment doesn't really exist. Everybody's making tubes on 50, 60, 70-year-old equipment. It just kind of degrades over time. It's natural. I degrade over time. You get the idea, right? So anyway, there is your tip of the day on how to get Mullards. And you know what? If you're looking at them, send me the ad. If you're looking on I got these on eBay. They're great. And they're measured on a really nice machine called an Amplitrex. It's very important when you see tubes that are measured on some old Hickok or something from 1968. Who knows how accurate. Those machines used to have to be calibrated every couple months when they were new. It's very unlikely that somebody is using those machines that knows how to use them correctly and knows how to calibrate them. So those measurements to me are always, I take them with a grain of salt. But there's a modern tube tester called an Amplitrex, and it measures everything, not just the basics of the tube. You get the full reading. So on the ads for these tubes, I saw the full Amplitrex screenshot. They're good tubes. I mean, they're really good tubes. They're ready to rock and roll. So that's the way to do it. So that's a long way to answer your question, Javier. If you have even one of my amps, the 65s love NOS tubes. I should probably, so I only need 3 of these preamp tubes for my Marshall that's coming. I got a power station from Stevie Fryette this week. He's going to let me play with it for a while. So I can play my Plexi. This is just, I can't tell you how much I'm excited to have this amp back. Anyway, it's not even the main one I had. This is the amp that I put groceries on the table with for a decade. It's home base for me. And so I got really sick a month ago. I got really sick and had to go to the hospital for a minute and all this stuff. And I had one of those epiphanies of like, I need to get back to home base. They're not teenagers, my young daughters, they say, go touch grass, which I believe means get grounded, get back in touch, with who you are. So for me, that will be my 1970 Marshall or the 71. Peter's keeping that one, which is fine. He's using it. Hang on a second. Hey, man, stop. What are you doing? Got border collies that get super itchy in the summertime. Sounds like a cow over here licking himself. Just stop. No, stop. Stop. Sorry. It's unbelievably noisy in my earphones. I just hear, I can't stand that. Anyway, so if you're looking at old tubes or you're interested in looking at old tubes, run it by me. I'll tell you if it's good or not, or if it's a good buy or a good value. Happy to do that. You guys are all connected with me on Facebook. So on Facebook Messenger or on the fans page, post it on the fans page. We can talk about it in person. I'd be happy to help you out. You'll be surprised how much of a difference. That'll do. That's right, Doug. Border collies. Yeah, I got one dude who's got really bad skin allergies, and the poor guy's so itchy. But border collies are OCD, right? So they'll scratch the itch, and it's fine. And then they'll just keep going for 3 minutes because they're OCD. They get stuck in a loop, Wapner's on at 3. And when I call him on it, he looks at me like, what? Oh, my God, okay. So anyway, there's not much going on in the world. So someone was asking earlier about my collaboration with Bad Cat. We're rolling along. There's a builder there who's kind of going to be my guy. And we're going to lay out the first amp now. Like we're starting on it right now. And get it working and then start adding all these other features to it. And we're going to play with transformers and all that kind of stuff. We will hopefully have good news for you, in the fall. How do you feel about the TAD ECC 83 red bass or premium selection? I got to see, TAD does not make tubes. They're a reseller. So I'd have to look at it and see who's actually making that tube. If it's a modern production tube, they're all okay. There's none of them that I consider to be great. None that I consider to be remotely as good sounding as these Mullards. And for a similar amount of money, I think it's smarter to get an NOS tube. That's just me. Take it with a grain of salt. Can you send me a link to it, Javier? Either here or on the fans page or on Messenger. And I'll have a look and see what you think. I always try to buy the best tube that's offered, as long as it's not just a cosmetic upgrade. Like Electro Harmonics has these tubes that have gold pins on them. It's the same tube, it just has gold pins, and you pay an extra $10 for gold pins. You don't need gold pins because your tube sockets aren't made out of gold. So you're having disparate metals there, which really increases the chance of corrosion and bacteria growth, which means you're going to be cleaning those out. Yeah, but send it to me or post it on the fans page and we can discuss it together. A lot of times, every vendor, not just tube vendors, but every vendors get creative. How can we drum up more business? And a lot of times it's just a cosmetic upgrade. I don't care what it looks like. I'm never going to see it. Like these Mullards are all pretty ugly looking. And they say General Electric on them. Do you know what they're going to sound like? Kick-ass Mullards. That's okay. Hard Rock and Steel says, I've had mixed results with TAD tubes. Some are great. Some sound better to my ear than JJ. But I've also had amps where the JJ sounded better than the T. Yeah, it's kind of subjective. Certain amps do better with certain tubes. That's pretty normal. There's also an opinion element to it. If you like it, it's a good tube. I'm not one to tell you shouldn't like anything. You can like whatever you want. If it makes you happy, and everybody's ears are different. Like, I don't listen through your ears. If you were to listen through my ears and vice versa, it probably would sound very different. So it's totally cool, man. I don't want to say where gear page because that'd be rude, but I really get sick of people on, I don't want to say it gear page because that would be awful, excuse me, to tell you what you should or should not like, to tell you whether you're right or wrong for liking something. Man, that's just asshole 101. If somebody, and there's a lot of guys on that forum that do that. If you like this, you're stupid. This is clearly better, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know what I don't like is assholes. And that's a real asshole move. If you like something, it's great. I'm not here to tell you. I can tell you what I like. You can take it with a grain of salt. And if you haven't experienced a lot of these old tubes, I can kind of help you through that. But nonetheless, you're going to listen to it through your amp and your ears, which are different than mine. So that's totally cool, man. My experience with modern production tubes is a lot of them are good. None of them are great. A lot of them are very usable and very functional and fine. None of them make me go, wow, that's a good sounding tube. I'm usually surprised when it's a really well functioning tube, like it's balanced and it's quiet and the gain is somewhere close to where it should be. Modern tubes none of them have the gain that these old tubes have. So like a used Mullard or an RCA or a Tungsol or a Philips or any of that stuff. I'm sorry, my power tubes are not GEs, they're Amprex. They're listed as Amprex. I misspoke. I'm really tired. I apologize. They're Amprex tubes, and Amprex was based in Holland. But these tubes are made in Britain at the Blackburn factory. They're XF2 Mullards. When Amprex couldn't make enough tubes, they just bought Mullards and screened them with their own name on it. There is no doubt, says Javier, about the Mullards, and the EIs are great. EIs are the greatest modern production tube I've ever seen, but they quit making them 20 years ago. I have a bunch of EI 12AX7s and EL84s. The EIs were made on the old Telefunken machines. Telefunken is my very close second favorite to Mullards on 12AX7s. If you can find Telefunkens, any Telefunken, they sound killer. And you don't have to be a snob and go, oh, I only want the ribbed plate ones. Doesn't matter. The smooth plate and the rib plate both sound killer. And if you go on that page, I don't want to say it's named the gear page because that would be rude. People will tell you, you're an idiot if you don't buy the rib. You know what? Fuck you. Excuse me. Screw you. They're great tubes. They all sound way better than anything made today. Now, let's be clear about that. Will it make a cheap amp sound great? No, it will not. Will it make a bad guitar player sound good? No, it won't do that either. Will it make a cheap guitar sound amazing? No, nothing will do that. So if you have a good guitar that you're happy with and you have reasonable facility with the guitar and you have a good amp, this will maximize that whole situation. It's not, there's no magic bullet. If I could just find you an NOS tube and stick it in your cheap amp and all of a sudden it sounded amazing, I'd be the richest guy in the music business, right? But it doesn't work that way. So let's just be clear. Let's set expectations correctly. So if you have a good amp, like one of mine or there's a lot of other great made boutique amplifiers, divided by 13 or, whatever you like. Divided by 13 is kind of my favorite other boutique, amp. Maybe you have an old matchless or you got a bad cat or whatever you want. If you stick an NOS tube in there, it will improve the sound of it. And if you have a vintage amp like an old Fender Deluxe or a Plexi Marshall, like I'm going to have here in a couple weeks for you guys, you'll hear the difference. You will hear the difference for sure. But if you have a Chinese-made Vox AC30 that you got at Guitar Center for $800, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. You'll notice it. It will be an upgrade for sure, but it's not going to make it sound amazing. At its core, you have an $800 Chinese amp, right? So, which they sound pretty damn good for $800. You get a lot for your money. I'm not saying they're bad amps. I just want you to have realistic expectations. So if you want to tell me what's up, right? I have this amp. I'm trying to get this out of it. I can do whatever then I can help you. I'll be glad to. I love talking about tubes. Dog stuff. I love talking about tubes, and I think that there's a lot of mythology around tubes of, there's no more NOS tubes left, so you better buy mine. It's not true. There's a lot out there. There's plenty, is it enough for mainstream production? No, Fender can't do this. But you and I can. And it's not punishingly expensive. Like I said, I got those 4 kick-ass Mullards. I mean, they all measure like brand new. And they're very, very well balanced side to side, like both triodes, and each one of them are really balanced. So I could use any of them as a phase inverter. I got them for $45 a piece. Something like that. Hey, come on. Hey. Sorry, mailman. Okay, just relax. Sorry, it's a hectic day here at the Boul household. I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, my office butts up to the side of the little entryway of the house. So people come through my office all the time. Treat it like it's their own. So anyway, I don't know what that was, but I'm not answering the door right now. So anyway, I'm kind of ranting about tubes, aren't I? So I just want, and then let's talk all these tubes. There's a lot of misinformation about tubes that people do. And I want, all right, hold on one second. Hey. Get back. I'm in a meeting. I told you to come back in a couple days. I'm in a meeting right now. I have to go. Okay. God damn it. Salespeople. Lady came yesterday and I said, come back in a couple days. And she comes back today. And I said, I'm in a meeting and she wants to keep talking. I'm like, nope, gotta go. Anyway, so there's a lot of information. It's a crazy day. This is getting recorded too. Oh my God. Thank you guys for sticking it out. So anyway, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet about tubes. Let's talk about the term NOS. NOS means new old stock, and there is only one way to meet that definition. If you have a tube that's still in the box and has never been out of the box, that's new old stock. That means it was stock in somebody's store or on a repair guy's shelf, and he never used it. That's new old stock. So you'll see things, people say things, and they're blatantly dishonest, and any tube guy knows this. When you see, Javier, I don't want to get in the tube business. Thank you. I would have to buy a lot of stock and deal with a lot of grief. I can help you find tubes. I know tube vendors that are honest and do a good job, and we can talk about that here in a minute. So when you see the phrase measures NOS, leave, run away. This is a dishonest person. There's no way to measure NOS. I can go really deep into that subject, but, for example, a 12X7 is supposed to have a gain of a certain number. Is it 1,500 or 1,200? I can't remember. That was the guaranteed minimum back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You will not find any brand new tube that comes close to that. They're going to measure 800, 900, maybe 1,000, which is below the guaranteed minimum. So back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, that would have been a tube that got thrown away. And so when you see some guy saying measures NOS, he's talking about the bare minimum. So I think 1,200 or 1,250 is, I'm sorry if I'm making a mistake, it's been a long time, on a 12X7. These mullards that I have here all measure 1,400, 1,500. They measure over the guaranteed minimum from the 60s. And these tubes are 61, 62 years old. They measure, one of them I think measures 1,700. So that was very common back then. So that number, when you see a 12X7 supposed to be 1,200 gain factor, that's the guaranteed minimum. That's not the goal. That's the minimum. So when you look at modern tubes, if you go on their websites, hard rock steel frozen. What's frozen? Am I frozen? Am I still here? Hello? Check, check, check. What's going on? So anyway, just be careful when you're buying tubes. I can help you honestly, like I don't mind. Anyone else? So I can't explain that. I can log out and log back in. Crap. I look fine here. Can anyone verify? Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Anybody there? God dang it. It's working fine. Might just be you, Mark. So anyway, let me help you guys with that because tubes are really fun, really fun. But if you don't know what to look for, it doesn't mean you're stupid or ignorant or anything like that. It just means you haven't done it. If you don't know what to look for, you can waste a lot of money. And you'll buy tubes where you go, this doesn't really sound any better. You know what I mean? So I can make sure you don't waste money doing it. And like I say, I got these tubes. If I were to buy, I mean, the power tubes are more expensive than modern power tubes, but I got them for literally 25, 30% of what perfectly pretty good mullards would sell for. As if you're going to open up the back of your amp and show it to people. Like, look at my pretty tubes. Who cares? I care what it sounds like, you know. I care what it feels like. That's what really matters. So I can help you guys through that. And don't be shy. Like, just reach out, talk to me. It's totally cool. I don't care at all. Trip. Dude, gotta stop. I'm excited. You know, maybe when I get them in, I got to bias this Marshall. I can't do it here. I don't have a bench at my house anymore. I'm going to run over to Mike's. But maybe when I do that, I'll video it and share it with you guys on the fans page so you can see how it works. But man, once you put the back on the amp, nobody can see what the screening on the tube is. Like it's kind of vain, isn't it? Like, oh, my Mullers have a perfect screen. You know who says that? No one that's ever played music for a living. That's just collectors or Sunday afternoon rock and roll lawyers. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. And why would I spend $800 on a pair of tubes when I can spend $175? And those tubes are, I mean, they measure new. They measure NOS because that doesn't exist. You can't measure NOS. They measure new. Full functioning new tubes. $175. I'm 61 years old in August next month. And I guarantee you these tubes are going to last way longer than I do. One of my daughters plays guitar really well, so she might inherit a Marshall when she's 45, and it'll still have these tubes in it. It's going to sound killer, unless you guys want to overpay me for it. I mean, everything has a price, right? Like, I'm a capitalist. It's cool. I don't mind at all. Anyway, so that's me ranting and bitching and moaning. I'm sorry for the cuss words. And I know it probably doesn't offend 9 out of 10 of you, but for the one of you that said, oh man, I don't appreciate that kind of language, I'm sorry. I say things, I'm sorry if it offends you. But anyway, I want to turn it over to you guys. I got about 10 or 15 minutes here. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind? I have heard a little bit more scuttlebutt about the Fender situation. So now I think 8 companies have all retained the same law firm that Paul Reed Smith used to beat Gibson. And they're joining in together as a group. I think Paul probably initiated all this. And for you guys who don't know Paul, he's a very nice person. He probably was very happy to help. Let me put Lance and Lisa's GoFundMe page back up here again, because it really helped. Apparently, you guys put in a bunch of money. And I think between off my show, I think you guys have put in a few $1,000s. So thank you very much. If you guys knew Lance and Lisa Lerman, you would be astonished. I just posted it here. Give them whatever you can. $5, $10, $20, $100, $500, whatever it feels like something you can live without. It's money really well spent. You're getting quite a few Fender ads. Yeah, they know they're in trouble. They stepped in doo-doo for sure. Anyway, so it's I can't name all the companies because I think that's private. But there's like 7 companies that are all working together with the same law firm that Paul Reed Smith used to beat Gibson on the McCarty stuff, and I think on the Fender headstock thing as well. So this guy Bud Cole, as I've mentioned before, is not representative of the people at Fender. I know a lot of people at Fender, past employees and present employees, and they're all really nice, cool people. They're people that love guitars and amps like you and I do, and they've turned it into a career. A really good friend of mine that I used to work with at Line 6 is now the head of all the amps and hardware stuff at Fender. He's a senior vice president. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And a deserving guy to be successful. So this new CEO, I don't know if the board offered him some huge bonus or something, what would cause him to do this, but it's backfiring big time. And the lawsuit, I don't know if we talked about this. I have a little bit of a background in intellectual property. I worked at an intellectual property law firm when I was trying law school, and I quit because I realized I'm not tough enough. I can't smile while I kill, right? But anyway, I learned a lot about intellectual property, and I'm a lawyer's kid, right? So I grew up talking about this kind of thing all the time. But whenever you have any sort of legal proceedings, there's a preliminary hearing. And in that preliminary hearing, the atmosphere is the judge has full skeptical defenses up, and it's like, why are we here? Don't waste my time. What are we doing here, right? And Fender's going to go in there and say, well, Your Honor, we had a patent on this guitar shape, and we think we're losing business because of market confusion. Oh, okay. Tell me about your patent. Well, it expired in 1979. And the judge is going to say, really? You're just now noticing that there's a problem? Because every guitar company on earth makes a Strat-shaped guitar, except for maybe Gibson. Even Paul Reed Smith's Silver Sky, it's not exactly a Strat. Like if you compare them side by side, they're different. It's a Strat kind of body, but it's not a Strat body. And Paul's listed on their cease and desist. It's not a lawsuit yet. I don't think it ever will be. But so the judge is going to say, okay, 47 years ago, you know what? Get the fuck out of my office. Like, I don't think any lawyer would take that in front of a judge, honestly. They would just be laughed out, and it'd be highly offensive to the judge who's using taxpayer dollars to do their jobs, right? So he or she using taxpayer dollars to do their job. It won't go anywhere. But anyway, so now all of these people are countersuing Fender. How about that? Led by, I think, Paul Smith and a few other people. They're all countersuing Fender. One of the things I've been told, though, Lance and Lisa Lerman are getting a lot of business now because not everybody was aware of LSL guitars. So if you really want to help them out, buy a guitar. They're really nice guitars. They're like $2,500, and they're well made as any boutique guitar around. They're really great. They really know what they're doing. They do a collaboration with Chris Fleming also. Chris Fleming was the head of the master builders at Fender. He was the master builder. So they work with people like that. I've heard rumors of a couple other collaborations they're going to do, which I can't speak about yet. But if you're looking around at guitars, get an LSL. I'll give you their website. That's just their GoFundMe page. That would put a lot of money in their pockets. And that would help. So let me copy this. Man, I'm tired today. I'm sorry. Here it comes. There you go. Anyway, and then it turns out the Chinese company that defaulted in Europe was actually owned by a big person in the music business that I can't talk about. So it's very complicated and it's very silly. The worst part of it is that the people at Fender, I think it's just Bud Cole and their lawyers, really made a big mistake here. And I think it's backfiring on them horrendously. So I expect this to probably just die quietly. Because, Fender's not going to get up and go, oh, mea culpa, I'm so sorry. We made a big mistake. If they do, that'll be the announcement accompanied with Bud Cole being let go. I don't know the guy. He might be great. I don't know him at all. He's clearly smart enough to get in that position. People do make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. This is a mistake. Fender's a nice company full of nice people. And we all love their products. Like, I'm going to buy that little Brown Deluxe that just got released. I used to have a 62 Brown Deluxe. It's one of my favorite amps ever. So anyway, there you go. That's what I know. So anyway, I said I was going to let you guys talk, and then I just kept talking. What's on your mind? Got any questions? We got about 5 or 6 minutes here. Anything you want me to answer? So the Faber Bridge, go get it. I'll get you the link to that too. Holy moly, it's good. Game changer. Let's see. Yeah, here we go, Faber USA. It's actually a German company. Jawohl, wie have ways to make your guitar ring, ja? Ja, können wir das machen? All right, coming at you. There's the Faber stuff. Check it out. I bought the Pro Kit. I think there's 3 levels. You can buy just the bridge. You can buy the bridge with new posts and the slugs to go down on your guitar, or you can get the tailpiece with all of its stuff too. So I got the full thing. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that expensive. And it's German steel. It's not Chinese pop metal or Chinese aluminum. I think the tailpiece is aluminum, but it's all German. It's all really high quality stuff. So the whole thing might be aluminum. Hell, I don't know. But it's German. It says made in Germany on the bottom of it. And you can tell it's very substantial and nice. Not made out of old soup cans like some bridges are. But it rings like a bell. Yeah, it's ringing. All right, you guys are quiet, aren't you? I probably bored you guys to tears talking about tubes. Anyway, I love tubes, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited to share this Marshall with you when I get it, which probably 2 weeks, something like that. I'm getting it back from Peter, and he loves it too. So I think it's hard for him to get rid of it. Damn it! But it sounds like a rock and roll machine, motherfuckers. Anyway, all right, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and split. It seems like I've made you all catatonic, and I apologize for that. I didn't mean to. It's not a big news week, unfortunately. I'm happy and I'm healthy, and what else is going on? 65 is starting to finally move. I'm eager. I wish I had a big giant update every week, but I don't. It's just slow incremental progress, which we're trying to get these amps out by NAMM, realistically. The way things move. If I had nothing else to do, and if John Thompson had nothing else to do, we could finish this amp in 2 weeks. But he's got a big old business to run, and the guy that's working with me on it also has a job. He's doing a lot of important work for Bad Cat. So I have to take what I can get, and I'm happy to do it. I'm very happy to do it. It's all good. Anyway, so fellas, I'm going to jump. Really nice talking to you. Some great questions. World Cup is going on. If you're in Norway, that's probably why there's no Norwegians or English people here right now. Because half our crowd seems to be Norwegians and English people, because Norway's playing England right now in the World Cup. So they got better things to do than listen to some old fart in Los Angeles whinge on about tubes and guitars and bridges and amps and all kinds of meaningless stuff. So I'm going to go watch the game myself, have a little lunch, and I will see you very soon. And I wish you guys all the best. If you have a team left in the World Cup, I know Javier, you do too. Spain is playing who? Who's Spain playing? Canute. Oh, yeah. Norway's playing today, though, isn't it? Hey, man. Trip, you got to stop. Stop. Hey. Quit it. Isn't Norway playing England today? I thought that was right now. France is playing Morocco. And Spain beat Portugal, sent Ronaldo packing. And who is Spain? Belgium, that's right. Spain's playing Belgium. That's this weekend, right, on Saturday. France and Morocco today, but not England and Norway? Okay. I got it wrong. I'm sorry. With that huge, enormous Viking that you have that runs everybody over. He's 6'7" Viking monster who murders the ball. It's pretty fun to watch. Anyway, you guys have a fun weekend. I'll see you next week. Hopefully I have a better story to tell. And I'm serious about the tube thing. If you're looking at tubes, or even if you just want to discuss, hey, what tube should I put in my amp? And can you help me find one? Absolutely. I can show you what to look for, just so you can do it yourself without getting taken. There's a lot of people on the internet selling nonsense. So I can help you avoid that. It's very easy to avoid. The main thing, look out for that word, NOS. Measures NOS is a big red flag of I am full of S. Nothing measures NOS. And either it's NOS or it's not. That's like saying it measures green. Well, it's either green or it's not. You can't take something yellow and measure it green. So anyway, gotta run, fellas. I love you. I mean it. thanks for wasting your time with me, and I'll see you next week. All righty. Take care. To be continued.